Adventurespirers, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm in the kitchen because I wanted to talk a little bit about food. Namely, what food do you take with you? What snacks are you taking with you when you travel? So a little about me. When I travel, I usually want 3 meals, but I find that to be one of the most cumbersome times finding meals, especially when you are actively on the tourist kind of route where you're looking at, sites and you're just kind of in new neighborhoods and places and you may not have a plan around food. I'm going to do a video about how to make it easier, but it's just a time when I'm a little bit more stressed out because usually I'm very hungry when I'm ready to eat, and if you can't find what you're looking for or you know where to go at the time that you're hungry, it can be a little bit of a thing, right? And so I can attest that I'm one of these people. The headache's coming, the mood is shifting, and I should eat, right? I just need, you're better with me feeling like I've got my food, okay? So this is for those people who might be like me, who have the same need for the regular cadence of things. And so hopefully this will provide you with some insights of what you might be able to do. You're traveling with family, you're traveling with friends, you're traveling alone. I am covering it all because I do all of those things, right? And it still blows my mind that you have to be very, very flexible. You have to be able to adapt. So for me, the way that I can keep myself more peaceful is to always have something with me. And by something, I'm going to show you a couple of items, give you some ideas. You may do similar, or you might find something that you're not doing. I'm also interested in you getting involved in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are after I share my information. All right, so I'm going to break this down into kind of 3 categories. My basic thing is I want something to keep me satiated until I get to the next meal. That's the whole bottom line. So with that in mind, what's important to me is fiber content and protein. Right? So I'm going to show you some things. We'll take a look at the fiber content and the protein content. We'll put what I'm saying to the test, right? If these things that I'm showing you would be able to do what we need it to do, which is hold us over, bridge us to the next meal. First things are nuts. Whatever nuts you like, we know nuts are going to be mainly high in fat, but we might be able to find some that have both protein and fiber. So I like cashews. So I just picked this up. It's a new flip top container, which I kind of like, makes it portable as well. But let's see, this also has a combination of fiber at less than one gram. So we're not saying hurrah on that one, but it's got protein at 5 grams. Which is pretty good. So again, we're not overdoing anything here. All we're doing is taking a handful of this because it does have a high level of fat. We're taking a handful of this. I love putting it in a medley or a mix of other nuts. But I wanted to give you an idea that this is a great way to bridge your hunger. The other thing, especially if you're doing a medley or if you just want to have it alone, are seeds. So here are some pumpkin seeds, which are pretty small in nature. So you could not really overdo this type of a thing. It does have a high fat content, so you do have to kind of take it in stride. But listen to the fiber and the protein on this. It's got dietary fiber of 2 grams, which is not great, but it's something. But it's got protein of 8 grams. Okay, so if we have a handful of this and maybe a handful of this, I think you're doing really well. Another nut or seed that I have are sunflower seeds. And these are already peeled, pretty easy. I know some folks like to take off the shell. That's a whole thing. These are ready to go. And this is, again, we've got high fat content, but this one has dietary fiber of about 3 grams, which is decent, and protein of about 6 grams. So again, if you did a medley and you took a handful of all 3 of these together, it would be rich in its ability to provide you with a protein level that would likely hold you over for another at least an hour. I find that these snacks kind of keep me for an hour or a little more, which is probably all you need to get you to the next place. The next thing that I love are fruit. Now, If you're in a country that you have open air markets and fresh food markets, definitely get to one and pick up bananas, apples, mangoes. I love to get the fresh fruit in the country. You can peel it yourself. You don't have to worry about any of the hygiene issues. And bananas are great because at least that thick shell can be very protective, and that's portable as well. Apples, I kind of decide if I want to go there with apples, but whatever fruit, and it's a great way also to get a sense of the country. There's so many unique fruits based on where you are that it's another way of kind of getting another level of insight into the country that you're in. So, fruits. I'm loving dried mangoes. I'm not a great or a big mango lover ordinarily, but I love the dried mangoes. So here's one that I picked up recently. Trader Joe's has another one that's really great. Take a look for the ones that are pure mango, that don't have a lot of sulfur or additives to keep it. Those are your best bets. So that's this. And then wonderful things like dates and figs are also great to bring with or to add to a mixture. You can slice these up into smaller portions and add them to a nut mix, for example. Like, why not? Let me go back here, and I wanted to give you the fiber content on the mangoes. So mangoes, 2 grams, and then protein, 1 gram. So you're getting something, right? It's just not sweet for no reason. And then on this being, these are dates, and we have 3 grams of fiber here and less than 1 gram of protein. But for the fiber content, again, it's worth it. Definitely is worth it. The next thing that I love to bring with me, and we'll add to a Ziploc bag or a recyclable Ziploc bag like this that I can use again, or my Ziploc, is oatmeal. All right, so oatmeal, this is the old-fashioned version. There's also, of course, the quick cooking. Just know that the old-fashioned uses the entire oat. When you have the quick cooking, they cut up that oat so that it cooks quickly, which in my estimation, you're not going to get as much of the fiber content. It's going to be a little bit more dispersed because you're using smaller pieces. So if you can, get the old-fashioned, and the old-fashioned has 4 grams of fiber, and it has about 1 gram of soluble fiber. So that means you're getting a good load of fiber here, which is why it's often recommended for cholesterol and for weight loss. And protein, 5 grams. So if you brought this along in a Ziploc bag, you could use it again for breakfast. You could use it for lunch if you needed to. And all you need to do is add it to water. Now, I love adding a little bit of milk or some type of flavor to it to make it a little bit more enjoyable. But if I had to just have it with water, I can do that as well. The other thing is, I buy something like this, which you could bring along if you wanted to really make this a little bit more, fun. This is called Super Seeds, and it has chia seeds, flaxseed meal, and whole hemp seeds. So this is a mixture, a medley of sorts that you can top with your oatmeal, and it is 6 grams of protein and fiber, 8 grams. So I would throw this along with the oatmeal in a Ziploc bag, and we're good. The other thing that I like, and many people deal with protein powders, whey powder, protein powders. I tend to like more of a natural protein powder. So this is called Primal Greens, or just get a green powder or a powder that you can identify the ingredients in it and make sure that it's high in protein. And you bring it along. You find the ones that you can add to water or a juice, which this one can be added to a water and a juice. And this one is really a mild tasting one. There are some that are better than others. But put this again in a Ziploc, or if you want to take this entire bag with you, this is 30 uses. Likely I'm not going to need that much unless I'm taking an extra long trip. But Take this with you. Easy to add to have a cup or a glass with you, or to take with you and put in your carrying, whatever vessel you use to carry water, or if you even have a bottled water, just adding this to it, shaking it up, and you're ready to go. You're ready to go, and very helpful again in keeping you satiated, but also good in getting your greens in while you're traveling, which might sometimes be difficult to do depending on where you're going. The last thing that I want to mention to you, if you haven't thought about it, is taking a soup with you. So I have another video which we will put up here, tag up here, but it is a video that talks about, how to bring home some of the sentiment of your travels so you have it in your everyday life. Well, on a recent trip, I brought home some soup, and I like mushrooms, so I could tell this was mushrooms, mushroom soup. I couldn't really read any of the ingredients, but I knew that I could add water to this, and there likely would be some mushrooms that would float up, and this is a mushroom soup. So I brought this home with me, partly as a souvenir, but partly because I like soups, and there's going to be times where I just want a soup. I can do this. Get hot water to this, and you've got a meal. Or if you want to have mushrooms in the morning or lunch, this is easy to do. The other thing I would say is it is pretty strong that you're going to have a kettle that you can put and boil hot water in your hotel room. So if I have taken trips where I've come back to the room and I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I don't really want to go anywhere. I don't want to figure out what I'm going to eat. And so at those times, something like a portable package of soup is so home warming that I cannot tell you. That is my wrap up of items to bring with you while you travel. Please do engage in the chat. If you have not subscribed yet, please join us, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.